Welcome to the Queen's Conversations podcast, the official podcast for United Kwendom, LLC, hosted by Teddi Rene. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Queen Conversations podcast. I am your host, Teddi Rene, and it is a wonderful and glorious day. How are you guys doing? How have you been? What has been up? Where have you gone? Who have you seen? How is life? How is the new year treating you? The new year is treating me just fine. The new year is blessing me. So many great things are on the horizon. I can see them. I can almost feel them, touch them. I am in great spirits. The issues and the drag from last year, the previous decade, it just seems to all have just disappeared. And I am grateful and I am blessed and I am not mad at all. Okay, so I am just doing amazing. I'm doing wonderful. This is just I don't know. I'm just in a good mood, y'all. Like, I'm in a really good mood. Yeah, so let me see. Goals update for me, and then we're going to get right into this interview. So still on track with the newsletters. I did slip this week a little bit on my fitness goals. While I did work out most days, I didn't count all of my workouts because they didn't meet my minimum requirement of like 45 minutes. But I did make sure that I completed some type of physical activity, whether it was walking or I did jump rope a couple of days. And then also, like, I have weights everywhere. I have weights and plates, dumbbells, weighted bars, in my room, in my office, in the basement. I mean, in the garage. I don't have a basement. In the garage, in the sitting area. So, and I did that on purpose so that on the days where I don't want to work up a full sweat, I can still kind of work those different muscle groups. So every now and then I'll pick up a plate and do some shoulder exercises, or I'll do some dumbbell exercises, or like I said, I'll jump rope, play with the kids a lot more because of course they have all this wonderful energy and they want to do really weird things that you never realize until you're an adult and you're out of shape, that are really, really good workouts. But they're really, really hard, like bear crawls. Kids bear crawl like nothing. Okay. I mean, they barely have any weight to lift up and to carry, but Billy bear crawls like she's, I don't know, floating in water. Like, it's effortless. I long for the days where I used to do that, and we're working towards getting back to it. I've also been stretching. I've been rolling out some tension in my back. Like, I have a couple knots and things, stress knots, and I'm just tight in some areas. So I've been using my roller and working on to get those kinks out and just stretching out different parts of me. I have been keeping up with my yoga poses and things and stretching in the morning. So I'm pretty much on track over here. So, the struggle of keeping your hair, maintaining your hair presentable for the rest of the day while still getting your workout in is real. Okay. So yeah, that's my update. I'm doing great. I hope you guys are doing wonderful with your goals as well. Yeah. Oh, as far as IG Live, at the time of this recording, it's Friday. Excuse me. I have not gone live yet, which means I'll be going live 1 or 2 times today, and then again 1 or 2 times tomorrow to make my 3 for the week. And you guys know I don't do anything on Sundays, but I think I'm going to do live on Sunday because, I don't do anything on Sundays. So maybe that'll be a day that I designate to the first live of the week. We'll see. But we are talking about resumes this week because I am offering free resume review reports. So if you sign up for a free resume review, you basically just send me your name, your email address, and your resume. I look at it. I give you a first impression, at a glance review of your resume, what you got right, what you got wrong, some areas to work on, and a couple of tips on how to get started on that. We are in the season of job hunting. the beginning of the year is a great time to find a new job, because all of those open requisitions from the end of the year are still open at the beginning of the year still need to be filled. So we had that big old interruption with the holidays at the end of the year where people started taking vacation, or people were not in their office or accessible or able to onboard new employees. So a lot of times what happens is there'll be this really, really big rush to bring in new employees right before the holidays. They try to get you in, get you out. I believe there's a blog post on my podcast. There's a blog post on my blog about this, the best times to look for a job. And right before the holiday, you'll see kind of is the time where you can have like the quickest turnaround between application and onboarding, because of the holiday approaching and the end of the budget year, and people don't want to have to deal with those logistics when they come back in fresh at the new year. So right before the holidays is the best time to go through the hiring process as quickly as possible. If you want to do a really quick turnaround, right before the holidays is a really good time to do so. Right after the holidays is a great time to look for a new job, because again, all of those open requisitions are still open. They still need to be filled, right? And while there's no major rush, there is more the expectation, or the expectation is that people are not going to be taking vacation anytime soon. So they'll be deep in the hiring process, trying to fill those positions, making sure that they're getting all of the needs of the organization addressed, and then also restructuring, right? So it's the beginning of the year, and just like most of us, people often tend to revisit their goals, not always on the fiscal year, but also because of the new year. Like, it's just a natural thing that we as people do. So management teams and all that come into the new year, they want to come in fresh. They want to restructure some things. And sometimes bringing in new talent is a part of that restructuring. So the beginning of the year, great time to look for a new job. This is the perfect time to get your resume reviewed. I'm doing them absolutely, completely free. So if you go to teddyrene.com/start, under the Career Champion header, you will find free resume review, and I will review your resume for free. I do ask that you give me 2 to 3 days turnaround, because I've been getting so many resumes. It's exciting, and I appreciate it. And I'm very happy that you guys trust me with your livelihood. And also very happy you've taken that first step, because quite a few of them have the same mistake. So we will be talking about resumes on IG Live this week, because it is vital. All right. And it's crazy how that worked out too, because for my job, I'll be doing some resume stuff coming up like next week. It's crazy. This week. Well, by the time this comes out this week, and it's like, oh, perfect alignment, right? Like, it's just resume season. But anyway, so let me tell you guys about my guest today. Okay. All right. So I am super excited about this guest. If you listen to the podcast on Anchor, you guys know there are a couple episodes there. If you listen to those episodes on Anchor, then you will hear the episode. And I can't remember which one it was. I think it's the Back at It Again episode, where I was talking about like the support and people who have always been there, always supporting, always replying to my emails. And I gave a shout out to Melly, right? So our guest, and I said, I need to get her on this show because she's doing some great things. Like, she just released her own lingerie line. I'm so proud of her. But Melly absolutely is one of those people who, no matter what is going on or whatever, like, she seems to always be on time for me, for my encouragement, for when I'm feeling like I need more support, or I'm not getting the support that I would like to, or if I'm struggling in an area, I'm trying to figure something out, or a new challenge has arrived. When I start feeling like I'm starting to sink, or that those feelings are getting the best of me, always on time, literally in God's perfect timing, Melly always replies to an email or sends me a message about how much the work that I am doing is encouraging her and helping her, and how she's, forwarding things to people. And I just truly appreciate her and people like her, because it's not an easy thing to put yourself out there, your thoughts, your ideas, and try to get some things, going, especially when you're doing them for other people. So that type of support is absolutely necessary and appreciated. So I said that I was going to get her on the show, and she is my guest today. So my guest today is Miss Amelia Bailey, also known as Melly, right? And she is a 29-year-old. She has a bachelor's in criminal justice from the illustrious Elizabeth City State University in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And she is now the proud founder of Embrace Your Existence Kween, or EYEQ, EYEQ. That is so cute. I love it. EYEQ is a brand, a mindset, and a movement. It is a place where women can buy affordable lingerie and read blogs to feel empowered. Amelia is a current resident of Winston Salem, North Carolina, and a finer woman of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Hey! And I, yes, absolutely on purpose, okay, released this episode on their 100th Founders Day. So happy centennial to all of the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, from your fellow sister in royal blue. Okay. I love you guys. You guys know some of my closest friends are Zetas, and I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Happy centennial. 100 years is no small feat. Sorry, that was a little mid break there, but yes. Okay. Back to Melly's bio. Okay. So while maintaining her newfound business, she also has 2 full-time jobs and takes care of her family, her mother, her Stephanie, and her brother, Ezra. Melly is amazing, okay? And I just cannot wait to get into this interview. So we're not going to wait. Guys, joining the conversation today is Miss Melly, or Amelia Melly Bailey. All right, so today we have Amelia Bailey, or as I call her, Melly. And I just want to give you an opportunity, Melly, to introduce yourself and tell the audience who you are and what you do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amelia, as Teddi stated. I am the founder of EYEQ, which stands for Embrace Your Existence Kween. It is a brand, a mindset, and a movement is what I like to pretty much sum it up as. I do sell lingerie, so it is a clothing business for women. However, it's more than just that. I want to be able to just empower women. I want to be able to uplift the woman. I do a blog where I just make conversations with women, and even in my packages that I send, when people purchase lingerie, it might be a little poem or something just encouraging there on the postcard. So it's more of just buying lingerie. It's more of an experience.
So I remember a couple, is that your echo? I think it's my echo. Let me see. Sorry, technical difficulties, because I can hear myself.
No, you're fine.
Okay, there we go. So I remember a couple years back or so, we were trying to come up with a logo and T-shirts and things for you. So when you were talking about, when I saw on Instagram that you were launching a lingerie line, I was super excited, first of all. Because I was yay, she's finally putting out there what she originally started to do. But I wanted to talk about how, or what it was, what types of challenges and things did you incur or encounter between a couple years ago where you first had an idea to put something out into the community, into the universe, versus now to actually doing it. So what was that process like? What were some of the challenges? And then kind of how did you shift from the T-shirts to lingerie?
So it's a little bit of a long story, but I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. So I've always envisioned doing something for others. I always had a big heart, and I always wanted to just do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't know what aspect I wanted to do it in. And when I thought about IQ, I knew that it's exactly what the name I wanted to do and where I wanted, what I wanted to call it. But then it was like, okay, well, what do I do from here? Like, how do I reach the next person? How do I help the next person? So I started doing like little inspirationals, and I was like, but this really isn't what I want to do. And then I reached out to you, and I was like, okay, boom, I want to do t-shirts, because everybody can read a t-shirt, everybody buy a t-shirt, right? And what happened was I had some family issues that had happened. My mom actually had gotten breast cancer, and when she was pregnant with my brother years ago, she got into a car accident. And from then, her health just sort of declined, and she had a deteriorating hip. And so I had to put myself on the back burner and focus on getting mom back, because, you know, moms are important. And so my mom is my life, my everything. And I tend to always do that. I tend to always put myself on the back burner and focus on her and my brother. And so that's the disconnection of how I didn't start with the t-shirts with you, because I was so focused on them and getting them, you know, back up to their health and where they should be. Early last year, so I've always done modeling. I've always been kind of in and out. I'll do pictures and I'll do runway shows. But last year I started doing boudoir. And so I actually fell in love with it, and it was more of a self-esteem boost for me, because even though I model and I take good pictures and I look cute and I smile, like I still was battling self-esteem issues within myself. And so being in the lingerie, it wasn't for my significant other. It was solely for me, and it made me feel more than enough. It made me feel like I was beautiful and I was actually putting myself down for no reason. And so I was expressing that to a few of my friends, and I was like, well, why you just don't sell it then? I was like, what are you talking about? No, whatever, you're crazy. And I just kind of pushed it off to the side. And so I was in church one Sunday, and this guy prophesied to me that I was going to start a business, and it was going to simply just be nothing short of amazing. And I've been starting on it already, but I haven't put my full energy into it. And I needed to go ahead and just invest and just do it, just put my face out there. And so I said, well, Mom, you know, I don't know what I should do. Should I just go back to the t-shirts, or should I just do the lingerie? And so she was like, well, just do the lingerie, because exactly how it made you feel is going to help the next woman. And that's exactly what I wanted to achieve. So that's how lingerie came about.
So your mama was right, because I don't do lingerie. Like, I think I bought,
why?
I have literally like 2 like Teddis in my closet, which is weird because my name is Teddi. But I wear them sparingly. I don't know, like I've never just been like this naked with clothes type of person. Like either I'm like naked or I'm clothed.
Yes,
like,
and that was me. That was so me, Teddi. And then last year, so as I started buying the lingerie for the photo shoot, it's like, okay, well, now I have it. So what am I supposed to do with it? And I just started wearing it around the house. And it made me feel so much better. Like, yes, I was either fully clothed to go outside or just in the house butt naked. But now I have my little lingerie, and I can read a book or watch TV. And right now I have some on, and I'm sipping some tea.
You know, but seriously, like there is absolutely like power in lingerie. So because like the one that I wore out, I just one of them actually, now I'm thinking about it. But the one that like I would do the same thing. I would just take a bath. I love my bathtub. I would take a bath, Rise, and then I would like get in my bed and I would just sit there. It's like I'm not going anywhere. I'm not having company. The kids are gone. Like I could just sit, and like the material just feels really, really good. But I've never been like this big lingerie person. Like I never really got that confidence piece about it until and I just said to my best friend that I need to buy some more because it should be a part of my self-care. Like having people see me talking all the time and see me on social media and it's like assume that I'm very confident, but lingerie confidence versus speaking engagement confidence versus starting a business confidence, all completely different aspects of it.
Right.
100%. So other than, so the piece of wanting to empower women and give them, this actual thing is bugging. Give me a second. Because I feel like it's me. So I'm not sure. Okay. So sorry guys. I can hear the echo. I'm sure you guys can hear the echo too. Hopefully I can clean this up.
No, I don't hear echo.
Oh, you don't? Maybe it's just Like I can hear myself.
You gotta lay off that stuff, girl.
Well, hopefully it's just me, and when I go to edit this, nobody else can hear it. But yeah, okay, well, whatever. So the helping with the confidence and putting that out to help the next woman I think is a wonderful reason to do these things. And outside of the piece of putting other people in like above your needs and your desires, what were some of the obstacles that you faced? Like, did you have issues finding vendors, or did you have issues finding customers or getting started? Like, what were some of those challenging first steps?
Oh my gosh. So all of the above, especially the vendors part. So I knew when I started, because I'm plus size, I wanted to definitely include plus sizes, right? But then when I went to go and do my research for vendors and things, like I found maybe like 2 good ones, Teddi. And it's so discouraging because I want to be able to do something for everybody. I can't say I want to uplift the next woman, but depending on your size, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the total package. I want to be able to send you lingerie and give you words. I don't want to just be able, I don't have anything for you right now, or I don't even have something for myself, because I think it's important that you yourself rock your own brand. So if I can't rock my own stuff, then why sell it? So definitely the vendors part, I found more than enough for the smaller sizes, but for the plus sizes, it's a bit much for me. But I'm still researching every single day in my spare time. That's what I do. As far as customers, I was actually telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, the support is wonderful, but it's like a flip coin. Like, everybody was sharing on social media to their pages and stuff and saying, go support my girl. She just started her lingerie business, blah, blah. And it was so overwhelming and I felt so much love. But then it was like, as far as the sales were concerned, they weren't coming in like I thought it would, And then I think just starting was one of my obstacles too, because like I said, somebody had told me in church that, just to start and put my faith into it. But I kept pushing it off to the side because of various reasons. And so, I think all of them were major obstacles, but I am slowly but surely overcoming them. So that's the important thing. It's not discouraging me to a point where I'm just saying I want to quit.
And that's the key right there, the consistency and being persistent. So, and those are very common challenges, especially that piece about having so much support and then your sales not looking like that. So I know I had a conversation with Carter Sade earlier in this season, and she said something similar. Like when I asked her what was her biggest challenge, she said that she thought that so many people, because she knew so many people and so many people supported the things that she was doing, that her events would have a turnout, and that having that realization was a big issue for her, a big thing that she had to overcome, and then had to kind of learn how to focus on not the people who were not there or who were not showing up, but more so to focus on the people who were showing up. And whether it's products or services, but specifically with products, it is very difficult to figure out how to get your customer to buy. But once you learn that and get into the swing of that and the groove of that and start understanding who exactly it is that you are selling to, it absolutely gets easier. And you literally can flip a switch and make sales. I promise you, it gets easier. And it's even for me with Perfect University. Previously, when I first started, it was a word of mouth, like in real life business. Like I was getting business from local small businesses, from local organizations and cheer groups and local Greeks. Transitioning to online was a whole nother thing, an entirely new space, because there's so much online and there are so many people trying to get everyone's attention, and everyone's selling the same thing. And exactly. God forbid someone have a bad experience with someone online, and you have to work that much harder to even get them to pay.
That much harder. Exactly. Because we are not all like that. That's in that business. So yeah, I definitely understand that part.
Exactly. And then adding the piece of trying to be consistent, and that is for me, that has been the game changer for Perfect University. I can absolutely see that the right people are looking, but they are waiting for me to show up regularly. So when I show up regularly, my sales show that. When I fall back from it, my sales show that as well. So yeah, that piece of support versus sales is absolutely real. So then with those being like some of those initial challenges, what is it, or is there anything so far that you recognize to be a lot easier than you expected it to be initially?
I think the vendor part can actually be a double coin. Like it was super, super hard, but super easy. So for, like I stated, the plus size, it's actually much harder. But for the smaller sizes, it's so much easier than I thought it would be. And it's so much more than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's just like a kid in a candy store. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this for them, and I'm gonna get this for them, and I'm gonna get this for them. And so it's so funny, because it's like, you can't just shop for your taste, but you have to shop for everybody's taste. And I think with the 3 that I'm starting off with, I showed a few of my friends and they already purchased a few. So it's like, okay, well, this is a good step. Like, pat myself on the back because I'm doing good. And I think the one where I stated where just getting started, that was a big issue, a big hurdle, but it's also an easy one because, again, you just get started. Stop putting it off to the side. Stop saying I'm going to do it, or stop saying I'm scared to do it. Just do it, because you never know exactly what the outcome is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And isn't it crazy after you start, like, how simple it turns out to get started, and you're like, what the hell was I waiting for?
Exactly.
Absolutely. You are not alone in that one at all. And now you're like, man, I've been wasting all this time sitting here trying to get started, and all I had to do was do it.
The part where I think another one would be that I thought that starting a business, period, was going to be so much money, like thousands of dollars. And granted, it could be that way. especially if I go out and get a little retail store. But just starting out online and being a little small business owner, it's actually much easier than I thought it was going to be. It's more cost efficient than I thought it was going to be. So I'm super excited about that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something, but I think that's a privilege that we have generationally that like our parents and grandparents didn't have. You absolutely can start businesses, low cost businesses, with nothing.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember like my dad's first business was a tutoring business and he had no choice but to lease out like space. Like now, tutoring online for free. Like Zoom, you can do a 30-minute tutoring session for free and make however much money you want to within that time. So we absolutely have that privilege, and it allows for a lot of flexibility. Like having that extra stream of income is no longer an option. Like it's a necessity in this, especially in this country. You have to.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, because I am currently killing myself because I work 2 full-time jobs, and then I'm trying to get started with EYEQ, and then I'm still helping out with the family. So I am literally killing myself. But it's like I need to have this income in order to just live okay. Yeah. I'm not even living above my means. I'm just trying to make it. And it's like, well, what am I doing wrong? What is life right now? Because surely I'm not supposed to be doing this much. And I don't even have children. So imagine if I had children, like, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, I will say that sometimes parents are worse than children. So, yeah.
I definitely call her my daughter.
I'm just saying, like, I remember one day, or actually a few times, like before my mom passed away, where I was just sitting there and I was like, I have officially reached that point where the child makes more sense than the parent. And I don't understand how we got here so quickly. I was like, when did this happen? Why and how? Like, isn't it supposed to happen when I'm like in my like 40s and 50s? Like,
Exactly.
When did this switch happen? And okay, cut it out. Let's move on, please. It's
right.
And the worst part about it is Billy's only 5, and I feel like she feels that she's already reached that point because the way she talked to me, I'm sitting there like, who is this child? Who raised you? You're like, you.
You?
Exactly. You did, mommy. I'm like, child, Lord. Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, but that's the truth. Like there's so much going on for a lot of people in this country that a lot of us are just trying to make it. But taking that first step and starting your business is a major life transition. It's a major crossroads, and I'm super proud of you. And I know it'll all work out, and I know that you will learn through this process. And when it is all said and done, we'll be sitting here looking back and be like, you remember 2 years ago when I was just getting started? Now look at me. Multi-millions. Every day.
Yes, I received it. Yes.
Selling out warehouses full of things, creating.
Come on now, I received
it. Okay, like designing your own lingerie for all sizes. Okay, like absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send you a contact because it could absolutely be an avenue for you. If you're having issues finding vendors, or if you're having issues finding what you need, my thought is always be what you need then. If you can't find vendors for plus size clothing, then that means that someone else is out there also having that same issue. Why not put your means together and be a provider for other people looking for what you're looking for? So I'm going to give you, as a matter of fact, I think she's actually one of your salons. Okay. Yeah. I mean, before we disconnect, make sure I send you her information, and I'm gonna hit her up and see if she does lingerie as well. We're gonna get this started, and I'm gonna order me some lingerie. Maybe not today, but by the time this episode comes out, because I'm in the middle of paying my bills and all that stuff. I'm doing good with my money now.
Yeah,
normally I would have been on the website before this conversation even ended and be like, "Yep, I just ordered." So, but yeah.
But it's okay because I understand, we're still getting over that Christmas hump.
Oh, I didn't even do Christmas for real on purpose. And
you didn't?
Nope. And I'm doing Christmas now, basically. And I know I think I wrote a post about it on LinkedIn, but like for Christmas, because I didn't want to be in the catch up space in January, and with rent being at the beginning of the year and then last paycheck coming on, actually I think my last paycheck came the day after Christmas. And I was like, so I could stretch all of myself thin and buy this stuff. The kids weren't even here until the 3rd. So I was like, they were gone Christmas. They didn't come back to the 3rd. Do I really have to rush and get their stuff? They were like, no.
Absolutely not.
I said, so this is what we're going to do. All right. We're going to call it a New Year's resolution reward. So for all the things we accomplished the year before, we'll get a reward in January. So
I love it.
Yep. So we sat here, we put in my Amazon cart, we put in, I think we got a Modell's cart, and I have my own Spreaker cart. And we said, okay, so at on this day, when this money comes in, we'll order this cart. When this money comes in, we'll order this cart. And when this money comes in, we'll order that cart. So we are ordering cart 2 today. So
I like it.
We didn't do Christmas. And because of that, all of my bills are paid early. I don't have no overdraft fees, right? I don't have no overdraft.
Look at God.
None of my accounts are in the negative. I got some change sitting in a couple of accounts. My business expenses for the year, the annual ones, are paid for. So, small strategy. The kids, but a part of that too was teaching them financial responsibility. And it's something I talk about all the time. So it used to be, mommy can't buy that right now. I don't have any money. And it's now so that's not a priority right now, but they can budget for that at around this time. And they understand the difference, which I'm grateful for, and accept it, and they're okay with it. You know, they're very smart, but a part of that is because they've been a part of the transition of having less to having what we need, having what we have, but also knowing that we have to be responsible with that. So like even when they ask for things, I always, or when they get money, I say, okay, so what is it that you really want to do with this money? Okay, so do you realize or know it's coming up that you're going to want this money for? Like Xavier loves so he'll say, yeah, Fortnite's having an event in 2 weeks. Okay, so if you know they're having an event in 2 weeks and you have this gift card right now, do you think it's wise to go to GameStop and buy all them Pokemon cards today? Or do you?
Right, exactly.
And he'd be like, he's like, well, I can look and see, I'll get this and this during the event, and that means I can spend this much. Like having them think about this.
Exactly.
It works. Like it's
where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Exactly. Because I just turned 35 and I'm just getting to that mindset. Like I used to just spend. It's like, oh, I'll spend this, more money will find me. And it usually does, but it's stressful waiting for the money.
It is stressful, but my mom is just like that. Even to this day, oh my gosh, it's like she has $1, she has to spend at least 98 cents of it, okay? And so during coming up, it was always, I don't have it right now. Mommy can't get it right now, or no, just flat out no.
Yeah.
And I was always felt like I was missing out. You know what I'm saying? And so now that I'm older and I'm like, okay, Mom, we can do this, but is that really important? Is that really what you need? And she's like, no. And she's actually doing part-time taxes now. And so she was making a joke with one of her customers because she was able to get them back like $9,000. And she's like, oh my gosh, if my daughter had this much, then I know that could last her till next year when taxes come around again. And the lady was like, are you serious? And she was like, yes, my daughter is so tight with her money now, it's ridiculous. And I didn't raise her like that.
But see, I'm gonna say, but sometimes, like we always get the children and the parents that we need, right? My mom was my mom, she loved extravagant stuff, but my mom could hustle $1 in a minute. She ain't never have no issue finding money when she needed it. So from her, I've gotten that entrepreneurial like spirit and go-to and whatnot, but also I've seen what happens when you have a lot and you spend it, or you give away so much that when you need it, it's not there. And that's one thing that with her passing away and us having nothing left of any of her success to put towards the house or her arrangements or anything, that's something that I specifically have set as a goal for me not to have to do for my kid with my kids. So if God forbid something happens to me, they will always have something left to deal, at least to manage what those initial necessities. But also I want them to have that mindset. Like a lot of my friends are super successful and a lot of their success is attributed to their financial knowledge. Like they know how to budget. They know the importance of credit. They know, how to take advantage of their opportunities. And to a point where most of them will probably be millionaires just based off what's sitting in their savings accounts. Like before I even make my first million from business, like because they were taught that. So I want my kids to know that, and then whatever they choose to do with that knowledge, that's on them. It's like,
but it's important that we have people like that in our circle where we can learn from. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I absolutely want other entrepreneurs in my circle so that I can pass this knowledge on to my children or pass this knowledge on to my friends who want a business but don't know how to start out. Well, absolutely. I can hook you up with this person, hook you up with this person. You know what I'm saying? It's important to pass that knowledge so that we're just not stuck generation after generation after generation.
Exactly. And I think that's I don't want to call it a buzzword, but it's absolutely something that a lot of people are talking about, generational wealth and all of that. It's like a lot of us, especially I think in our generation, it's a mission for us all to help the next generation get it easier. Like I feel like there's a major shift coming in finances and just like watching how the landscape is changing, especially in like tech and startups and how the face of all these things that have traditionally not looked like us are starting to shift to look like us. Like we're placed in a position where we have no choice but to wise up and to learn and educate ourselves so that we can maintain and our children can maintain and generationally we can just continue. So I'm super excited, which is, again, a part of the reason why United Kwendom was started, because had it not been for those friends that I knew that had like 820 credit scores or who were making $120,000 at like 25, I was like, what do you mean that's your salary? and you're not happy with that. Now I completely get it, because it's a drop in the bucket based, compared to what you could have. And it's not as difficult to get those things as we think it is, but it feels like it's more difficult because we've never been exposed to those types of things. So absolutely.
And we're having to teach ourselves, basically.
Exactly.
We can't go to mom's generation because they didn't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And even what they did and what they do know doesn't even apply at this point.
Exactly.
It doesn't even apply. Like my grandma,
because they definitely didn't have technology on their side. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is a whole nother rim.
Yeah, I was reading an article and I glanced at it. I'm not going to say I read it because I didn't read the whole thing. It's probably saved in somewhere, but it was talking about how there are so many first time, like new millionaires. Like being a millionaire right now feels like the equivalent to making six figures. Like back then the goal was to make six figures. Now the goal is to be a millionaire. Like that's crazy. Like the shift in generations, but we're going to get there.
We're going to get there, girl. We are going to get there.
It's not difficult. It just takes time and process. But the process is absolutely something that I feel like most of the people that I know can endure and will endure. And I'm just excited to see. We're going to be doing Yacht Week. New Year's Eve on yachts soon.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I absolutely love it.
Me and the kids are starting this year, so we're doing New Year's on the Disney boat this year for 2021.
Oh, nice.
No, we haven't been on Disney in a couple of years, and I did a podcast interview with Delilah for Black Travel Logs, and we were talking. She was asking me about like Disney, and I was like, you know what, Dee, like now I need another Disney vacation, so we booked. I was like, okay, so when we gonna go? I was like, end of the year. Ooh, perfect. We booked that because I was like, I need to get back on a Disney boat because it was amazing. And Delilah got me all thinking about it and reminiscing and mouth salivating from I was like, oh yeah, that was fun. Oh yeah, that was. You know what? Let me look and see what deals they got.
And I haven't been on a cruise since we were traveling.
Really?
I went like 1 year, skipped a year, went another year. And that was it. Like, I haven't been on another cruise since then, since the travel group.
I'm gonna need you to take a trip. And that's what, even when I didn't have like money, when I was, I'm not gonna say, I was broke. When I was broke and I could barely pay the bills that I had, I made sure that I traveled. I was one of those people who took income tax check and booked travel for the year, because it's important to me, for me to get away. It was important for me to give the kids that experience, so that not only do we have family time away from the house and our daily routine, but also for them to be able to do things that I didn't get to do when I was growing up, to go places to see and have experiences, and just to be able to do that. Now I sit here and I look at those things, and it's easier for me to book a Disney cruise this year than it was before, and it's like, I'm not getting income taxes back like I did back then. But the blessing is that I don't have to rely on that to be able to do these things for my family. And that's something I'm super grateful for. Even yesterday, I was driving from getting my hair done, and I drove past this spot on 495 where my Pontiac had broken down a couple years ago. So when I quit my job for Marriott, I quit my job because I couldn't afford a new car, and that my car broke down. So I bought just like this bucket, and some things went wrong with like oil, and it was just a mess. And it broke down on me. And I worked in Bethesda, lived in like Landover. So I drove past that spot yesterday, and I sent my best friend a message and was like, driving past the spot where my car broke down. And I'm super just thinking about like how much things have changed in just a little bit of time, to the point where I got that car from the auction and it was barely making it. It was smoking down the highway, to me driving this brand new car, and the payments are up to date, and my insurance, I'm fully covered, so I'm not riding dirty. And, I have so much more money in the bank, and I make so much more. And I'm just grateful, because this spot was one of the times where I was struggling the most. Like, it's just having those moments is absolutely makes the process of trying to build these businesses and trying to help other people achieve that type of career success. Like, it makes it all worth it, and it just fills my heart. I was sitting there. He was like, he ended up texting me back, and he was like, no, seriously, like 1000%, like, that's amazing. I was just like, bro. So we're all going to get everything that we aspire to get. I truly believe that. There's some of my friends who I look at what they're doing and I see where they are, and I'm just like, do you realize that in like 2 or 3 years, like all the stuff you're thinking about right now and stressing about is going to be yours, and it's going to feel so much better? Because like I can see that for a lot of us, like that's the level of success that we're all going to achieve is just, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Can't wait.
And I'm a firm believer that, if something good is going to happen to me, then it's definitely going to happen to those connected to me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I totally agree. Like, we're going to be bomb. Yeah. And Kwendom is going to be bomb. Like, we're going to be so blessed. It's like mind blowing.
It's crazy. So look, right. So I did an episode, I was playing around with Anchor, so I have a couple episodes on Anchor, and I was saying, like, there are a few people who are super supporters of United Kwendom and the podcast, and I specifically named you, and I was like, Melly always sends an email right on time, or replies, or gets the chat conversation going, like, and moments where I'm feeling like this might be pointless, or if I'm questioning my decisions to be, putting out into the universe what I'm putting out. And like, it never fails that when those moments start to creep in, Melly's like, there's a reply in your inbox. It's from Melly. And she's saying, oh, I shared so-and-so, or thank you for this, or sharing, or just replying. I'm just like, those are the types of things that help, that you don't realize, help people so much behind the scenes. Because it's like, if I didn't share those things, like, nobody would never know that there are times where I feel, I doubt or I question my path, and I actually give up. Like, unless you're like really close to me, like, nobody would know that I'm sitting here like, you know what, F this, like, I'm done. Or, and to have people like you and even Tierra and Nicole to like text or message and reply and be like, hey, that was a great episode, or hey, I appreciate this, or hey, that reminds me of this and that, or thank you for that. Like, it's an amazing feeling, and it helps to push the mission of United Kwendom and everything I'm doing. So I appreciate you. And I thank you for your support. And I just truly, and I was like, perfect. I was like, as a matter of fact, she just launched a lingerie line. We're going to get on the podcast because she deserves it. She supports everything that I do and has for a while. And it's not like you and I have been we didn't grow up together. And I haven't known you for decades, but you are truly a very genuinely caring person. And I just appreciate you. So.
Well, you are welcome. And I just knew that down the line you was going to start cursing me out because my downtime is not everybody else's downtime. So even though I work third shift, my downtime for that job it's between 2 and 5. So that's when I respond back to emails and text messages that I'm behind on. And I was like, hey, you're gonna curse me out. I was like, 5 o'clock in the morning.
But you know what though? Because that's your downtime. But that most mornings, I'm back to most mornings. I'm up at 4:30.
Oh, okay.
So I know sometimes I'll reply to stuff probably at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. People be looking at me like, why is she up?
Why is she up?
Right? So I'm getting back to waking up at 4:30. It's a goal I set for myself last year to start waking up earlier to use more of the day. But so I started doing that again towards the end of the year. So I'm usually up. And I say most days, 4 out of 7 days a week. Usually up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock because it's so peaceful and I can get so much stuff done or nothing at all, and it won't affect the rest of my day at all. But
so, what time are you going to bed?
Most of it's at the very latest. I'm in bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock at the very latest. But 10 o'clock is my goal. So getting in bed at 10. And getting up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I'm getting good 6 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a full night's rest for an adult.
And you're just perky and good to go, 4:30 in the morning?
Well, I drink coffee. I drink my coffee black. So it started out because I was getting up at 4:30 because I was trying to get a workout in starting at 5. So sometimes I work out. Now I stretch. So I've committed to stretching every day, even if I don't work out because I'm 35 years old and things don't move the way that they are supposed to. So I'm trying to prevent old age issues that could have been resolved and alleviated by just stretching.
I don't even know how, child, because my knees, they hurt so bad.
Man.
I told my mama the other day, I said, I got golden girl knees. I don't know what they keep talking about, Megan Thee Stallion. I got golden girl knees.
I went roller skating with the kids about a month or so ago. And I was like, bruh, I forgot how this strains, going in one direction for so long, feels like all that on one knee. I was like, yeah, we're going to have to do that more often. Rarely do I have knee issues. I'll lift weights and I can squat and do all those things. But that roller skating in just one direction the whole time, I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Nah.
This ain't it. The kids are getting roller skates in that Christmas park because we go roller skating. We got to get that back. Okay. So with all of that being said, where do you see yourself and IQ in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm just going to manifest it and say that I'm going to be just as big as Rihanna. I mean, it's enough room for the both of us, right?
Yeah, especially if we want to start some music, because she's not trying to give us another album. And I'm okay with that for now. However,
I'm
gonna need her not to say I'm gonna need her not to say we getting one by the end of 2019. If we're not getting one by the end of 2019, I'm a little upset about that.
Right.
But I get it. Things change. You adjust, and
it's still 2019, but you gotta wait. Just hold on.
I don't know, but I'm okay with that because she's doing so much. But so yes, big as Rihanna is the 2020 decade goal. I love it. I love it. Let me see. What other questions do I have? I don't think I have any more questions. I mean, we've kind of just gone on a little tangent, and I love it. All of it.
We have.
I love it. Literally, this is why I love doing podcast interviews. And this is why I love doing podcast interviews where I can host it, because I don't feel as bad when I end up having like a 2-hour episode. I've done a couple of guest spots where the episode is literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And I'm like, nobody's going to listen to that shit. And they're like, no, they were listening to it. I'm like, really?
They do. You put it on in the car. That's when I listen to it most times. I just put my little aux cord in and I plug it up. And while I'm driving, I'll listen to the podcast.
Bruh.
Or even when the people go and start running and working out, they'll listen to the podcast. So yes, they listen to it. It's just a matter of they're not sitting down listening to it at the moment, but they're doing something. So we're absolutely listening.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like me and Delilah sat on my sofa downstairs and she was here for like 6 hours. We recorded an hour and a half of it, okay? Like, we sat and talked for like 2 hours, and then we were like, you know what, let's record. And then we started talking again for another 30 minutes. And it was like, no, seriously, let's record. And then we recorded, and then she was like, all right, recording done. And we started talking about something else. And I was like, look, this is why. And there were no drinks involved. It was just water and juice. Like, it was just straight up just conversation. Yeah, I was like, this is why I need to get
But when you have so much good vibes, such good energy, and just like you can breathe. You know what I'm saying? When you can talk to somebody and relate to somebody, and it's just like a weight being lifted, no matter what the conversation is about, you having somebody, that little outlet is so important.
It is. I agree. And that's a part of the reason why my goal this year is to get out more. Like, I've been kind of secluded for the last few years, like dealing with everything and managing everything and building everything, where like TGG, GTA, like that was my one time a year release where I could like be around all about my friends and just let loose and do what I want and say what I want and talk to everybody and all that. And then I would come back home for the year and I would just head down, focus on everything. And then I would go. Kind of helps me out because we don't have to deal with the stress of like another opportunity to act out or to just hate school. And
right.
But Billy loves school, and with all of the court stuff we just went through, it's like I don't want to give anyone any excuse or any reason to have anything to say about anything. So it's like she's in kindergarten, so she needs to be in school and she needs that consistency, and all of those things. So it's like, I can't keep doing that week. And I'm not at the point yet where I have a live-in nanny, but give me a year.
Okay. Not yet. Come on now.
Give me a year. I'm still waiting for her to tell me that she's ready to do something different. Because I'm buying a house in 2021. I'm buying a house out here. I'm considering getting one built. Do I have any money for it right now? No, but when I decide on it, it'll be in the account. If she agrees, I have one very specific person in mind, then I will have a living in, and life will be. I'll have like a whole employee living in my house. That's crazy. But she's really, really sweet. She's an amazing girl. I love her. She's wonderful. Matter of fact, I need to call her over here. Haven't seen her in about a month. So when I have a living nanny, things will be different. But until then, or a husband. I mean, if that's God's will, we'll see.
If slide that in there. It's not really important though.
It's really not. I just need another adult in the house. And then that makes it a little easier. So whether it's a living nanny or a husband, as long as there's another functioning, intelligent adult in the house, that then maybe we can do that. But yeah, they're supposed to be doing more trips, like smaller trips throughout the year. So I'm still waiting for that. If they do that, then I'll definitely go on some summer things with them. But until then, I don't know. My days might be numbered on that trip. We'll see. But I missed them. I was looking at the Jamaica videos and stuff on Instagram, and I was like, oh no, you guys are having fun with that.
Yeah, because that popped up on my timeline right before I went on Facebook just to, look around before we started our conversation. I was like, oh my gosh, today was like the anniversary when we went on Jamaica. And all these pictures of us, and I was so sad because I was miss all my friends. Where are they? Like, we're such adults now. What is happening?
Exactly. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Delilah's like IG stories, and I'm like, I don't know those people. Where are the people I know? I don't know those people either. And she's like laughing. I'm like, where's everybody else? I don't know them. I don't know them. I know her. I was like, hey, Chrissy. Between her page and Egypt's page, I was like, I feel like...
Yes, I was about to say, I was looking at Sin too, and she just...
It's like, oh, I miss the crew. Yeah, we need to do something. But are there any last words or anything you want to share with the audience before we at least stop recording? Any last words, anything you want to share, any advice, guidance, or just inspiration or encouragement?
Let's see. So I don't think we even stated, but the website is www.embraceyourexistence.queen.com. I also have an Instagram page, Embrace Your Existence Queen. So you can definitely go on the website, check it out, follow the Instagram page. Currently, it's plus size on there. However, I will be putting the smaller sizes, and when I say smaller sizes, it's going to be 0 through 12 by the end of this month, and the plus sizes is going in and out. I am a little under the weather, but I was drinking tea while we were talking, so I think I'm a little better now. And just overall, I think that every queen should embrace their existence, despite whatever flaws you may have, whatever imperfections you think you may have. I think you should embrace who you are and do it unapologetically, because at the end of the day, you are God's gift to man, and I absolutely love you. Even though I have never met you, I think you are the most beautiful thing in the world, and I hope that you have an awesome 2020.
Yay! That's like such a Melly thing to say. And this is why I love you. So thanks again, Melly, for joining me. And like I said, you are truly one of my greatest supporters, and I appreciate you, and I wish you all of the success, and I just cannot wait to watch you grow EYEQ into just this major reality of everything that you ever dreamt it to be, and so much more.
Yes, thank you. And the same goes for you and to the whole entire United Kwendom. We are on the rise, ladies, and I'm so excited for all of us.
Yes, I can't wait. Thanks, Melly. Yes. Are you still with me? Guys, I love Melly. I mean, if that was not apparent and clear from that conversation, then I don't know what you were listening to, but did y'all hear my dog? I just love everything about her. She's so super supportive, and she is a very genuine person, and I love her. And I am so grateful for God placing her in my life. And it's crazy because it's like when I first met Melly, I didn't know that she was going to be such a great and amazing contributor to my life and my support system. Initially, she was cool. I enjoyed her company. She was somebody that I, immediately liked. But you never know to what extent people are going to play a role in your life moving forward. And it's just an amazing thing to see that an introduction of hi, hey, this is Teddi, hey, this is Melly, turns into her being one of my greatest supporters, and me wanting and supporting her in every way that I can possible. It's just, that's growth. That's just life. It's amazing how much we can grow in life. And I just love it. Like the whole process of it all is just amazing. But that kind of leads me into the goal-getter tip of the day. And this one is one that I truly believe it is the core of almost everything that I do for United Kwendom, Teddi Rene. And that tip is to support who and what you believe in. Show support, because like I said, you never know how you supporting someone or how you are showing up for someone is helping them, is encouraging them. You don't know the impact that your support has on someone or something unless they tell you. And a lot of people aren't like me. A lot of people are not going to say out loud, hey, sometimes I'm fearful, sometimes I have doubts. But in those moments, you showed up for me in ways that you didn't even realize. And I appreciate that. Like, a lot of people aren't going to share that out in the open, in the public. If you know me ever, like in real life, you know, I have no shame in my game. I have no, I have secrets. There are some things that are private to me, but I am not ashamed to share my story, to express my feelings, to speak my mind, good, bad, or indifferent. And I try to do so in a way that it does not harm or put anyone else in harm's way. But I have always believed that being honest and keeping it real, keeping it 100 with yourself is a key to living a successful and happy life. And good, bad, or otherwise, that's what you guys always get from me. So I have no issues with saying, you know, I have doubts about this, or I've had doubts about this, or there are times where I feel like no one's listening, or there are times where I feel like what I'm doing is in vain because, you know, I'm not getting the results that I expected or at all. You know, I have no issues with telling people, you know, when my businesses are profitable and, you know, when they're not profitable and the difference between the two, because if my story helps you, then it helps you. And that is my mission. That is my goal, to help as many people as I can the best way that I can. And a part of that, fulfilling that mission is the fact that I do have supporters like Melly. I do have supporters like Tiara Nicole who will text me and say, hey, you know, how can I support your goals, your business goals this year? Like, what do you need from me as a supporter to help you be successful? And I really, really appreciate that because number one, a lot of times it's not a question that I answer out loud or even at all unless it's being asked of me. And number two, because they show up for me the way that I show up for other people. And if you're a person who does that, you know that it is rare that you get that back in return. And even more rare when you get that back in return from those that you give it to. And I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate the supporters. And I don't know anyone who wouldn't appreciate it. So the goal-getter tip of the day is to support people, support things, support initiatives, support what you believe in. Because you and your support are absolutely a part of their process, their success, their growth, right? We are all in this life thing together. None of us get out of it alive. So we might help uplift each other, build community, work collectively, support each other, and grow together. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Kween Conversations podcast. Don't forget, if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, send me a DM or go to or email me. Email me. Send me a DM or email me a photo of your review and I will send you instructions to receive your free Kween Conversations t-shirt. They are going out quarterly. However, for those of you who have already done so, your t-shirts are on the way. We sent those out earlier this week, just so you know. Yes, and those t-shirts are being sponsored by none other than Paraphernalia University. Customize your life with PU. You can find Paraphernalia University at www.getpugear.com. If you are a podcast host, if you are a small business or brand, absolutely grow your brand with PU. They are helping businesses, brands, podcasters, you name it, get their brand out to their target demographic and increasing their revenue to support their mission by selling t-shirts. Or on Instagram at Para University. That's PARA University. Bye, guys.